You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the April 1st, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can get more information for this meeting by going to www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. I'll call this is the Board of Works, and this is the regular meeting for Board of Works and Safety for Monday, April 1st, 2024. I will call the roll. Ms. Tisdale.
Present.
Mr. Simmons.
Present.
Mr. York is present. Attorney LePage.
I'm not a member of the board,
Nope.
but I'm here.
And we have our clerk. So we have our all present. I will. The mayor would like to make an introduction this morning of a new member.
Good morning. It's April Fool's Day, and today is my sultry voice. So I would like to introduce two new members that will be joining the Board of Works after today. I would like to introduce Peggy Moore. Come on. And Tamiko Smith, who is our Deputy Controller. I think as the press release stated that we were expanding the board to be a little bit more transparent, but I would like them to introduce themselves and just let you all know that at the next Board of Works meeting, we'll be at 5 members.
Awesome.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Peggy Moore, longtime resident of Michigan City. I have served on a number of boards, looking forward to serving on this one. Currently own a company in Michigan City called Dage MTI and have been a proud owner of that for 20 some years. And again, look forward to working with everybody. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Tamiko Smith. I'm the Deputy Controller for the city, also a longtime resident of Michigan City. And you guys can find me in the Controller's office. Look forward to working with everyone. And I'll see you up there as well.
And I think having someone from planning and the Controller's office is important with the Board of Works and Public Safety as we move forward, hopefully with tons of projects and public works projects, that I think it's important that we have an expanded, more transparent board. So thank you for letting me speak early.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next order of business is approval of the minutes for a regular hybrid and Zoom session meeting for March 18th, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the roll. Do I do a roll vote? Yes.
It's up to you. We don't have anybody on Zoom. So if you want to just do a general or a roll, it's up to you.
I'll do a roll. Yeah, by name. Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Chair votes were aye as well. Motion approved. Next order of business is approval of minutes for our executive session for March 18th, 2024.
Motion for approval with no changes.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Our next order of business is a disposition of grievance. This is a grievance filed by Sergeant Ken. We're going to slaughter this last name. Iguia on February 15th, 2024. I'll entertain a motion.
So the board will need to make a motion either to affirm or deny the grievance.
Make a motion to deny.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Give me one. Our next order of business is a request for proposals for permitting software for the Planning and Inspections Department. And I do believe we have our IT director here, Mr. Andy Metanik, to tell us a little bit about this. Thank you, Andy, for being here.
Good morning, Andrew Metanik, Information Technology, working with the Planning Director, Skylar York. We've been talking for quite some time now for the need to have a modern and accessible permitting and inspection software suite. Right now, the city doesn't have any type of software that really fits our needs. It's kind of put together with a lot of different pieces. There's not like a single pane of glass that we can actually look at and in the inspection department to see what's going on, for the inspectors to look at for the any type of permits that are issued, for code enforcement or anything like that. So Skylar and I have been looking at a couple different things, and what we're looking for right now is just for your permission for us to go out for a request for proposal to try to find a comprehensive and fully integrated permitting tracking software system for the city. We'd like this software to be cloud-based because all of our inspectors and code enforcement, everybody's out on the field, and we want to have something that's going to be able to work out in the field that's going to be accessible via their laptops or tablets and just something that's actually, a modern, more practical, more efficient way of doing things. And so we would also want to, with this RFP, make sure that whatever companies propose to us, that we can look at, make sure that our data that we already have is going to be totally, completely imported in. So we're not going to have to lose anything with this new software, that we'll be able to go back and get historical information about everything about the different parcels and different things that have we recorded throughout the permitting and inspection process. So that's really important to us too. And right now, like I said, we are just looking for the proposal. We do not have a dollar amount yet. I mean, that's hence for the proposal to see what it's going to take for us to be able to get a modern, efficient system for the planning and inspection department.
I guess I would just add, in working with you, we also wanted to be able to interface with our residents as well, so people can get online and interface, see where their permits are, more of a back and forth where they know, a little bit more transparency with it, which I think would be great for the public to be able to have access to that and be able to upload permits. If you're sitting in your home in California, you can enter a permit here in Michigan City rather than being here physically. And I think too, just for tracking purposes and then just for responsibility purposes of seeing where your permits are in the process of being permitted. Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome.
Mr. President, also, if the board does approve it today, we anticipate RFPs, the deadline for submission is May 1st. We would anticipate opening them at this board on May 6th. Then thereafter, Mr. Metanik and Mr. York could negotiate with the prospective proposals, and we would anticipate possibly awarding in July.
Yes, and I've asked a small group of people to kind of sit and review those, Mr. Werner being one of those to help us review. He's worked on a few systems, even recently with NDOT, so I want him to help us review it from those standpoints. So. I don't know if you guys have any questions for Mr. Metanik.
I do. Will this help speed up, actually, this may be a question for you. Would this help speed up the permitting process? Because right now it is very time consuming and tedious.
So the answer is yes, I do think it will. It will definitely speed it up. It also puts some, it will hopefully maybe fix some of the back and forth, make it a little bit easier with people, with the interaction with the public. The answer is yes, I think it will. We're pushing at, right now we're still pushing, we're handing paper around, and we really should get away from that and really be more automated. So
After reading and going over it, I certainly concur with this request.
Can I entertain a motion for approval?
I don't know if you want to open to see if there's any public comment.
Yeah. Sorry,
Anything-
public comment. Any public comment on this process? Anything online? Hearing none, I'll close the public comment. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain just because it's my department, but I really do appreciate you, Andy, helping me put this together. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our next order of business is the restarting of the transit Triangle commuter service. And I do believe we have our director of transit here, Mrs. Robin Tillman Barzoni, or Barzoni Tillman. So thank you for being here today and tell us a little bit about what's going on. It's exciting.
Good morning. The Transit Triangle project has been going on since 2015. We suspended service during COVID. We want to reactivate the service. On May 6th, I'm asking the board for approval to do so. We received a grant in May of 23 to restart projects that were lost due to COVID. We went out for public comment and engaged with the community in September, and September 13th and September 28th. We didn't receive any opposition to the project restarting. This is a 100% grant. I believe we've been budgeted for 2 years of operating. At that point, we're going to have to seek partnerships and new stakeholders in this project and going forward to support the transit service. I do have a revised schedule for the trips to the university and to the city of LaPorte. And at this time, I'm asking approval from the board to start May 6th.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
So Robin, previously when we did the transit triangle, we had to form a partnership with PNW and the county and the city because of funding. But this grant will take care of it all for the next 2 years, and we don't have to seek contributions towards the funding from others, correct?
Correct. Not at this point.
Great.
Well, we want to support the service going forward past this funding. And we may have to enter into partnerships or a service agreement with some entities.
So
So we have 2 years to
two.
persuade people to support the project.
And you'll be keeping all the statistics of ridership to support it, correct?
Data and locations, yes.
Okay.
Well, I see it as a much warranted request.
Any other questions from the board? I'll open it up for public comment.
Hi, this is Tommy Kolovic from 1316 Ohio Street. First, I want to give these last two speakers that gave up here, both Andy Matanik and Robin Tillman Barzoni. They're just doing a fantastic job with their department. I think you ought to just give them a great big raise. I think that's really deserved for both. He's been extremely helpful with me on the Fire Merit Commission and everything. Well, one thing I'd like to see that maybe have the buses switched over from either from gas to either propane or electric buses. I know in Gary they got all electric buses now. I know the Michigan City School, I went on a field trip to a Bulls game with the Michigan City Commission on the Social Status of African Americans. The school says that we had a propane bus that took us the game and back. I also wanted to possibly develop a transit app. Every other transit system across the country now has an app. You just get on, you can pay your fare, get your pass, all mobile. No more having to go to the controller's office and buying your paper pass. You know, that's the thing of the past. And it has the GPS where it shows you exactly where you can see where the bus is at in your city, and you know, it tells you right when the bus is going to arrive at your stop to the very minute. Some of these roads need to get fixed up. I rode the bus route number 4 to the semi-state game a couple weeks ago. If you ride it between Barker Avenue and Ohio Street, that ride is extremely rough, and that's not good on the wear and tear on our buses. And the same thing for Washington Park Boulevard by the park. Now that's on the #1 bus route. It's really bad, so we need to. There's some things I would say we should consider for the buses, but I'm glad we're getting this grant money because we see too much of these grants going like downstate, like Carmel and Fishers and Noblesville. But I think that it's great that we get the transit triangle, but we get somewhat of a regional bus system get back going again. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other public comments? Come on up. Yeah, I was waiting. I'll get the online in just a second. Don, the floor is yours.
Oh, sure.
Or Don, you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead. I'll get Scott in a minute.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Really do appreciate Robin's great work, and I echo comments relative to the quality of work that she does do. We're at Purdue Northwest. Let me identify myself first. It's Don Babcock. I'm a Director of Economic Development and Community Relations at Purdue Northwest. I've shared this information with our new chancellor. He's excited. Our whole team's very excited about this. We are going to do all we can to support the project. We do believe that it will be a big gain for specifically Michigan City residents to ride the bus, but also we'll have the connectivity back through the new South Shore station. So you could literally get from Chicago to Michigan City to PNW or to South Bend or even down to Dyer with the transit system, the way it's evolving. So we'll see where that goes. We're anxious to keep track of specifically the ridership. I do have one challenge on the front end here, however, is that we don't have summer classes this year at Purdue Northwest. So we will have other activities going on out there. So I anticipate it'll be a buildup for the ridership more in the middle of August or so when classes resume for the fall. So, but it's a good way for us to get started and rolling, and just wanted to compliment the good work and tell you of our excitement in terms of to support the project.
That's great. Thank you. I'm going to go to the online. Scott, online, you
Good
are
morning,
up.
everyone. How are you? Simply wanted to ask the director, what were our ridership numbers, or what are the approximate expected ridership numbers of the Triangle route, as well as our entire system? Just be curious to know what kind of ridership we have.
Scott, before she answers, can you introduce yourself and
Oh, I'm
name,
sorry.
address? Yeah, just like we were. Thank you.
I forgot. Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. Just interested in some ridership numbers, please. Thank you.
Scott, if you can do statements rather than questions, so we aren't here. So it really should be statements or comments related. But I'll leave it up to Miss Tillman if she would like to answer.
You can reach out to my office and I'll provide all the information that he needs in our ridership locations.
Thank you so much. Any other public comment? Hearing none, I'll close public comment. Open it up for motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Support.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. I really appreciate you working on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next order of business is a request for a special event and a road closure. Ms. Janet Block, who's the Executive Director of the Lebesnick Center for the Arts, is requesting the following: to host the annual Lebesnick Arts Festival on August 16th through August 18th, starting 2024, starting at 8 a.m. on the 16th and ending at 7 p.m. on the 18th. And she's also requesting that the festival fee be waived and road closures on Washington Street going north from Highway 12, 2nd Street, and partial road closure on Franklin Street north of 2nd Street. Maybe just tell us a little bit more about it and what's going on and what you're requesting.
Sure. Thank you so much, Janet Block, Executive Director, Lebesnick Center for the Arts. Do you all have the map for the street closures? Do you want me to pass them?
No.
Okay, great. So it's an annual festival. This is our 42nd year. And We are, yes, the fee was a new thing for us and we were not planning on it. As a nonprofit, we are requesting that the festival fee be waived. The 16th is the setup day for all the artists. We have about 80 artists coming in that day. And the festival is the 17th and 18th from 10 to 5. And then we'll need a couple hours to get everybody out safely. So that's what the road closures are for. There's nothing new in those road closures. They've been the same for the last, I think, 5 or 6 years. And last year, we topped our attendance since we've had it at the center, on the center grounds at like almost 30, I think it was 3190 guests in the 2 days that we were. And Sunday is free, so Sunday's free family day. Just asking for basically the standard.
Corporal Wright, have you reviewed this?
Good morning, Board. Corporal Wright, Michigan City Police Traffic Commander. This is the same as it's been over the years. We've always made it work. There's never been an issue, so we're
Excellent.
ready to go for it.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Attorney LePage, is insurance in order?
The certificate of insurance is in order. Also, by virtue of our ordinance, the fee can be waived for a 501c3.
Do we need a motion for that to waive?
Yes.
I assume.
So you could make one big motion or
Yeah,
separate. It's up to
yeah.
you.
Public comment. Let's open it up for public comment.
Yeah, I know, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I know the Board of Works, we ran a lot of these street closures. You know, it's a street closure. You got to keep the pedestrian walkway open, like for the Shelf Ice Brew Fest. I couldn't walk all the way through. They had it blocked off at 7th Street. So, you know, you still have to keep it open for the pedestrians. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve waiving the fee.
Is there any more public comment? First of all, sorry, I'm so sorry, Mr. Simmons. Didn't look online, anything online. Okay, I'm going to close public comment for that, for this agenda item, and then I'm sorry, I'll entertain them. Sorry about that, Gene.
Quite okay. All right. Again, motion to approve waiving the fees.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tinsdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain because I actually sit on this board. I'm sorry. Do I hear a motion for approval of the street closures?
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Again, I'm going to abstain because I do so on this board, but motion approved.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And we do keep the pedestrian walkways open. And in fact, we have emergency management usually
Yeah.
for safety. Okay.
Thank you so much. Our next order of business is a contract. Mr. Terry Greetham, our special events coordinator, is requesting the approval of a gold sponsorship of $10,000 from J&B West Roofing and Construction for the 2024 special events season. Mr. Greetham.
Good
thank
morning,
you.
Terry Greetham, Special Events. Yes, we're very excited that J&B West Roofing and Construction wants to be a part of our 2024 partnership lineup. We are asking for approval of the contract of a gold sponsorship in the amount of $10,000.
Great. Thank you. Any questions from the board? I'll open up for public comment. Any comments from the public? Anything online? All right, hearing none, I'll close public comments and I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Our next order of business is a personnel issue, and it's Ms. Tatanisha George from the Human Resources Director is requesting the approval of a job description for the code enforcement manager. And I do believe this was just approved by the council. So this is,
That's correct. Tatanisha George, Human Resources Director, City of Michigan City. Good morning, Board. What we have before you is a position for a code enforcement manager. This is not, budgetary wise, this is not a new position. There were positions in the planning department's budget set aside for code enforcement officers. And so what, the director of planning and inspection and mayor decided to do was in order to add some type of supervisory oversight in the code enforcement department and to administer the responsible bidding practices and submission program, and to also administer the contract compliance and EEO program and the local hiring program that was formerly in the Human Rights Department. This position, it was agreed upon, or it was thought that this position would be a good vehicle to administer all of those different types of programs that needs to be administered. And like I said, the president of the board said, the council approved the amendment to the salary ordinance at its last meeting, so now I'm before you to have the actual job description approved.
any questions from the board? No. Okay, I'll open up for public comment. Any comments from the public? Any comments from the public? Okay, hearing that, I'll close public comments and I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons? Aye. I'm gonna vote on this one. Aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Our next order of business is a request for special events. Manuel Rebecki, Cirque Entertainment 2 LLC is requesting to host an acrobatic Cirque style show at Lighthouse Place Premium Outlets from May 2nd to the 5th of 2024. I do believe we've done something similar to this in the past. Are they available? Are they online? Anyone here to speak on this? Anyone online? I don't see anyone with their hand up. Okay. What is the? Let's see. Guess I'll open it up for questions from the board. What's the pleasure of the board?
Yeah, I realize they've had it before. It's almost become an annual. I hate to prolong it. Paperwork.
Is paperwork in order?
From my perspective, the paperwork is in order, but you may want to ask police for a recommendation.
Yeah, let me. Yeah, absolutely.
And also, President York, I'm not sure if anyone from your office has reviewed it, from a planning
I
perspective.
was just about to say that. I wish my commissioner was here today. So I can tell you that we do review these. Our fire marshal and our building commissioner will both inspect these tents and make sure everything's done correctly. Corporal Wright, what's your thoughts on?
We normally don't have anything to do with it, quite honestly, since it's on Lighthouse's property. We normally don't get involved with it, and I can't recall any calls for service we've ever had there before either.
Okay.
So again, we don't have an issue with that.
Okay, I do know that when it comes to the permitting, they do get permits and we do review all their electrical connections and all of the placements of and exits of fire. I do know that we do that on a yearly basis when we do this. I can tell you that. Insurance.
Yes, the insurance is okay.
Okay. I'll open it up for public comment on this project. Hearing none, I'll close public comment. What's the pleasure of the board? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Motion approved. Our next order of business is traffic control device repair. Michael Viosinet of 212 Eddy Street is requesting the walk sign at the corner of Barker Road and Franklin Street to be repaired. It looks like it's been repaired. Sean, do you have a report on that? Can you give us a little update? Mr. Sean Smith, Director of Street Department. Thank you.
Morning, Board. Sean Smith, Director of Street Department. The intersection of Barker Road work has been repaired on the traffic button. All the necessary traffic control signage has been installed. However, the south end of the intersection, I noticed there should be 2 more traffic control pedestrian fixtures. I want to reach out maybe to the city engineer and get him in on this matter, but for the most part, work has been completed.
Thank you. Do we need a motion to take this off of, to approve?
I
or-
would, because
Okay.
it's actually the issue's moot now.
Okay. I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Okay, anything online? Hearing none, I'll close public comment. I'll entertain a motion from the board to get it off our.
Motion to approve and taking it off.
Yep.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. And then Sean, you'll follow up with with Mr. Warner. Thank you. Our next order of business is a vendor license request for Mr. Ron Landtroop. 425 Ogden Ave is requesting to renew his mobile food vendor license for a mobile vendor license for Slice of Heaven for April 1st, 2024 to March 31st of 2025. How you do, Mr. Landtroop?
Morning. Ron Landtroop, 425 Ogden Ave, Michigan City.
Tell us give us kind of an overview of what you're here for, and then
Just to get my annual license renewal. Basically, nothing's changed since last year. Same menu, same prices so far at least, and pretty much same crew as we had.
Excellent.
I'm in the process of doing a little bit of repairs to some signage. They got a little messed up over the winter right now, and hopefully be open again in another week or so.
Okay. I'll open it up for public comment. Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, I'll close. Any questions from the board? Any comments from the board?
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
This next one, the next item of business is a contract. We have an agreement between NERC, the Northern Indiana Regional Planning Commission, and the City of Michigan City to provide the terms by which payments of remaining non-awarded funds from the LaPorte County Revolving Loan Fund will be made by NERC to the city over time until the retirement of debt on all existing loans. I'm gonna hand this, I know a little bit about it, but I'm gonna have our attorney LePage speak a little bit about this and just tell us kind of what's going on, and I'll jump in as needed.
No problem. So back in 1987, so several years ago, this city, as well as the city of LaPorte, both contributed matching funds to the LaPorte County Revolving Loan Fund. Currently, there's excess remaining in it, and this agreement would be an agreement to return that excess back to the respective cities. It's not a lot. It's when you do the math, it's about $30-some thousand, but it's still something that would be coming back to us. Anything else, Mr. York?
Yeah, no, you did a really
Okay.
great job, and I would just say there's a little bit of stipulations about what the money can be used for, things of that nature, but um, yeah, it's not a lot of money, but it's something we would get back as the city.
What are the stipulations?
The economic activities, basically, they want us to use the money for similar things that the money would have been used for with the revolving loan, essentially. Essentially things like that. Yeah. It's just not a revolving loan anymore. I'll open it up for any other board comments, questions. Okay, I'll open it up for public comment on this. Any public comment? Any public comment online? Okay, I'll close public comment. Entertain a motion from the board.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Our next order of business are updates. Today we have Miss Shannon Eastman, and she was going to give us an update on Parks and Recreation Department. Thank you for being here.
Shannon Easton, Park Superintendent. So our events lineup for May and June, we're gonna kick off Memorial Day
Not
weekend.
sure that microphone is working.
I don't think it's collecting our. Okay. You are loud enough. We don't know if the mic.
Morning, Shannon Easton, Park Superintendent. So events wise, we're going to kick off Memorial Day weekend with our food truck festival in Fetters Alley on Saturday and Sunday. Beginning Friday, May 24th, we will have live at the lakefront, the concert series that will be every Friday and Saturday through Labor Day weekend. So in May and June alone, that's 12 concerts. So tickets are around $15 for that. The shows start at 8 o'clock, again in Millennium Plaza. There will be 2 Juneteenth celebrations this year, one on Sunday, June 16th, and the other on Juneteenth, June 19th. We're meeting today with the sponsors to go over the details of those events. Municipal band concerts start on Thursday, beginning June 6th. So every Thursday in June, concerts are free. Parking fees do apply if you don't have an annual perk sticker, and the concerts start at 7:30 p.m. Also on June 15th, there'll be Pride Fest at the Amphitheater in Washington Park. Saturday, June 22nd, the Trail Creek Fun Float, which is also a free event, that launches at 9 o'clock at Hanson Park. And lastly, on Thursday, June 27th, Uptown Social is sponsoring a 5K walk and run. It starts at 6:30 p.m. It starts at Uptown Social and ends there, and they usually have an after party. So those are the events that are currently on the books for May and June.
Shannon, if someone wants to attend some of the concerts, is there a list of what's going to be?
Yes, if you just Google Live at the Lakefront, they're all posted already, and it's a variety of music. It's from blues to disco to tribute bands, the Eagles, ABBA. So yeah, they're great. I went and saw Prince last year. It was a good time.
Thank you so much.
Shannon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next order of business, I don't need to open up for public comment, right, or anything like that. Okay, our next order of business is an update for special events. Mr. Terry Greetham. Actually, Eric's going to do it for us today. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, Board. Eric Williams, Michigan City Special Events. We are coming off a fun, safe, and successful month of March. March 16th, we kicked off the event season with the St. Patrick's Day Parade. We had about 55 entries, which was an increase from last year's event, as well as an increase in crowd attendance, and it was a fun time. If you guys were there to check it out, it was a great time had by everybody. This past Saturday, we had the annual Michigan City Easter egg hunt. We had approximately 16,000 or so eggs. We gave out about 200 golden ticket prizes, about 1,500 kids and parents in attendance, and with the exception of the kids slightly jumping the gun at the start, it was a great time. So Moving forward for the month of June, we have the Singing Sand Sand Sculpting Festival. I am pleased to let you know we've already surpassed the total of art craft merchandise vendors from last year, so the event is growing. We will be announcing the sculptor lineup soon. It is an international competition again this year. We do have a sand sculptor coming all the way from Canada to join us. And then for Oktoberfest, we do have the band lineup finalized and already 30 art craft and merchandise vendor applications in. So
Exciting events coming up. Huh?
absolutely,
Absolutely. Thank you for working so hard on it. Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Terry. Our next update is from Flaherty and Collins Property. We have Mr. Dave Albers with us today. Dave, thank you for being here with us. Maybe give us an update. What's going on? Process. Probably a little update on our the beams coming through.
Yeah,
too.
precast.
Precast.
Yes. So David Albers, project manager with Flaherty and Collins. So foundations for the garage, I'll start with the garage, that is in progress. Next week, we'll be installing an earth retention steel sheet piling system along the platform of the South Shore line because our excavations will be getting pretty close to that. Precast is going to start delivering to the staging area at the Franciscan Alliance lot in the first week of May. We finalized that agreement with them, with Franciscan. And then precast from the Franciscan lot to the site will start shuttling in the third week of May. So my anticipation is next month's Board of Works meeting, we'll have solidified a plan and details working with the police department and basically everything that was already agreed upon as far as the routing, but maybe bringing that before the board just to update.
I think to make it
Reminder.
public, remind people publicly. We've talked about it, but we approved it last year. So yeah, it'd be nice to just revisit that. And
Right.
kind of get a MOT for it all.
Yeah, it'll be, the impact will be fairly minimal other than the no parking notice that'll go out for Wabash and 10th Streets. But we're gonna try to minimize the inconvenience to travelers with traffic control and things like that between, on Wabash between 10th and 11th, where they're gonna have to cross into the other lane. As far as the apartment tower, we started clearing the site for that. Knew that there was a couple of pieces of foundation still there, but uncovering a little bit more of that, so that work is underway.
I think that's just what when we redevelop in a city, we dig through 100 and something years of rubble basically underneath the ground. To be, it's just, that's the hard part about redevelopment inside the city. Thank you. Any questions from the board? Just have a little interaction with Dave, just if there's any questions. Okay. Dave, I don't have any questions for you. Thank you for doing a good job, and thank you for being here and keeping us up
Yeah.
to date.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Next order of business is our payroll docket for March 22nd, 2024. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the payroll docket.
Support.
Call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons. Aye. If chair votes aye as well. Next order of business is our claims docket for April 1st, 2024. I'll entertain a motion for that as well.
Motion to approve the claims docket.
Support.
Call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons. Aye. And the chair votes aye as well. So we'll move on to the unfinished business, pending items. Our first order of business is our Zorn Brew Work, is a request for special event and road closure. Zorn Brew Works, Zorn Brew Works is requesting the following, and this was tabled from our March 18th, 2024 meeting. This is for the Mac and Cheese Fest. Have we gotten in their new insurance, Madam Clerk? I think we reached out, but it's still not correct, so we need to get it corrected before we can bring it off the table.
Yes, that is correct. So if you are online, I think I had sent an email regarding saying to update it noted what was incorrect on it. So if you have any questions, please reach out and then we can help you.
And I do believe you wanted it just to mimic the last year's submission, which I think you provided,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So if they are online, please look at the attachment that was provided.
Yes, please.
Mr. Miss Leach.
President York, I'm not sure if you want to open it up for public comments at all on the issue.
I can open it up for public comment. Yes.
I know someone mentioned to me they'd like to speak, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
Good morning, Board. Tatanisha George, 132 Oak Ridge Road. And this request kind of stuck out to me because my grandmother lives on the corner of 8th and York.
Okay.
And so I rode down York Street and I counted the amount of houses. So there's approximately 9 homes, and then some of the homes are duplexes. They're upstairs, downstairs. So I guess my concern is that with the request as it is, how does that affect the residents in that neighborhood? Zorn is a really good, establishment. I mean, I've been there, I've used the facilities and everything. But what I've noticed over the years is that during their busy season, the residents in that particular area along 9th Street are greatly impacted. If you ride down 9th Street during that time, during their busy season, you can actually see, it looks like Chicago. In the wintertime, when people put lawn chairs in front of their properties, you can see where they put chairs at because the parking goes all the way down 9th Street. So it goes into the neighborhood. So for this particular event, how does that impact the citizens in the neighborhood? Because the streets will be closed off. And if you need emergency presence, or if you need to just bag out of your alley, or if you have somewhere to go that day, that this will put, a cramp in being able to move the way they need to move in that particular neighborhood. I mean, it's not a huge number, but it does start to stretch out the more you think about it, with the people coming from out of town, parking. Once the parking lot gets filled, then they start parking in the residential neighborhood, and it does create an inconvenience for the resident.
Thank you. Mr. Klavitt.
Yeah, Tommy Kolavic, 1316 Ohio. There are several green spaces around the city that we can start instead of closing these streets off for these events to be held. I mentioned before, we got the big 3 acres just north of the administration building. Mayor Angie, she needs to come up with a site plan for that. We acquired that in 2019. When you two were on the council, you approved the city of bringing that in, because when Johnny Stimley sat on the council with you, he wanted to put a dog park there. And ever since then, all the park department does is just mow the grass. Nothing's been done there. You got your redevelopment commission's Grayfield site at 5th and Pine. Nothing is going to be going up there anytime soon. I think we're all pretty much convinced of that. Let's start getting these off the street. They don't have the taste of Chicago right on Michigan Avenue. They have it in Grant Park. So let's start having these off the streets. Thank you.
Any other? Oh, online, yes.
Hello, Scott Melanter in Kenwood Place. I suggested at the last meeting about the green spaces similar to Tommy, but given Zorn Brewery is asking for closures around their facility, it seems to make sense in this case to grant them this permit, given that we would like to support our local businesses. Maybe they can give us a head count or expected number of guests. Maybe there's a way to arrange for off-site parking somewhere else. I mean, they are on essentially on Michigan Boulevard there. So maybe we can make alternative parking arrangements to relieve some of the stress that the other speaker brought up about the neighbors being impacted by that. But I think we should support our local business in this limited street closure. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? So it sounds like the pleasure of the board is to leave this on to the pending. We should probably leave this on the tabled list until we receive our appropriate certificate of insurance.
Yes, the certificate of insurance is important. We need to have that.
Absolutely, I agree. Any other comments from the board with regards to this one? Okay. Our next order of business is on the pending items list is a request to submit work a request to submit a work request. Councilman Don Prespolinski is requesting to submit a work request to CSX Railroad crossings for the repairs at Woodland, Risky, Carroll, and Greenwood Avenue. And this was tabled on April 17th, 2023. We'll look to our city engineer to see if you might have some comments. Thank you.
Tim Warner, Michigan City Engineer. I went to the Federal Rail Administration's website and got the crossing numbers for these 4 crossings. 3 of these 4 crossings are also shared, not just with CSX, but Amtrak. Amtrak, I've not been able to get a hold of. I called customer service for CSX. They said that after several days of waiting for return calls and calling multiple times, they gave me a number in Valparaiso, 219-462-1355 to call. I never got a response back from a message left there. I contacted Greg Kowalski, who's NDOT's railroad coordinator for LaPorte District. He gave me a couple names of people at CSX to contact. I did that on Wednesday last week. Nicole Henning was one. I have not got a call back from her. I left a message again this morning. She was probably out last week for vacation too, but I'll try to follow up with Nicole Henning at CSX and see if we can move forward with these things. So I'll report back to the board after I hear back from CSX.
Tim, if all else fails, I sent you the email communications for Senator Braun's aide, and we can,
Right.
okay,
I was hoping I could get through the CSX without
without that.
going way up there, but
I got
yeah,
it.
that might be the next step.
Got it.
Thank you.
Maybe for Amtrak too.
Yeah, that would be the case with Amtrak for sure.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Maybe stay up here because the next one I think is related as well. So the next order of business is review, add, repair refuse containers. Don Prespolinski, or I'm sorry, Councilman Don Prespolinski, 215 Gardena Street is requesting the following. To have the city review refuse containers from 11th Street to Cool Spring. He wants them all to be uniform. To have the refuse containers added to the bus stops at Walgreens, Homer Street and Franklin, Franklin Street and Homer, Kitty Corner to Albanos. To have refuse containers to be repaired at the corner of not Warren Road. I think he meant to say something else because I remember us talking about that. Franklin Street, corner of Pine Street and Ripley, corner of 7th Street and by the Barker and Washington by the Barker Mansion. Not to put you on the spot. Yeah. Any
I know
comments on that?
this isn't a big ask, so we should have a definitive answer by now. I mean, this has been 2 weeks, and the councilman I agree with him. I mean,
I think what we need to do, Sean, do we have any extra containers? I don't even know how many we have in stock. Sorry to put you on the spot. And if you don't know that's okay. I mean, I didn't mean to put you.
No, I wouldn't have the exact count for refuse containers. I don't know if that's something maybe I could find out through the refuse department.
No, like
Exactly.
those big metal ones that we have out in like downtown and stuff like that. Do
Oh,
we have extra ones
no,
of those?
No, we do not house any.
Okay, I didn't think so. Mr. Carter, do you know if we have any extra ones as well? Not to put you guys on the spot, not to have a big discussion here publicly, but just curiosity.
Good morning, Chris Carter, Michigan City Refuse Department. As far as I remember, we have not been responsible for installing the metal ones. We just have the regular total containers.
Okay.
So we pick them up. So if
Yeah.
you add some more, we just add it onto the route.
Okay, so it sounds like we don't have extra ones. So I'll have a discussion with Mr. Werner and Sean. We'll try to get something. I saw you guys out picking them up today, or kind of reminded me of this project.
What about the repair?
We'll talk about repair and just placement and see how many. I don't know that we have any extras right now, so we wouldn't be able to unless we have any police reports from getting hit. Okay.
And also getting back to, the railroad crossing, they're terrible. We need a definitive answer from someone. I mean, or can we put signage, slow down to the public? I mean,
Rough crossing.
yes, just from a liability standpoint.
I don't know, I'll have to rely on Mr. Werner's expertise.
Yeah, as far as the rough crossing, the signs have been put up prior until a couple of years ago when those issues came up there, so we could do that on these crossings.
Yeah.
I don't know if Sean, did your department make the signs, or do we have rough crossing signs?
We actually have rough crossing signs up. We have them up at, I believe it is Carroll Avenue, where is it? Ohio. And I believe it's one more, I think it was Jackson Street. I don't know if I'm leaving one out.
Woodland, Rusky, Carroll, Greenwood are the ones listed,
Yeah.
but not saying those aren't
Risky-
bad as well.
Risky has it. We installed them at Risky. They're also up on Woodland Ave as well.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mayor.
As far as the railroad crossing signs, are we responsible for paying for those? Or can we ask the owners of the crossings? They don't want us plowing over their railroad, they don't want us doing all this stuff, are they gonna pay for the signs? Or can we ask that question? I don't know, I think.
I don't think it hurts to ask, but I think I probably know the answer, but.
Well, because just like with potholes, you report a pothole on the highway, you're the first person. You don't get reimbursed for your tire. If it's reported and somebody else hits it and busts it, they reimburse that person. It feels like this is something similar.
Yeah, all railroads are responsible for the safety in the crossings at grade, so they would be responsible for all of the work to maintain these. As far as signage for us putting signs up that indicates these crossings are rough, I don't think the railroads would reimburse us, but I will ask and see. I'll ask when I get in touch.
The second item, what was the second item? I had a question.
The trash containers going up and down.
Did
just kind of-
redevelopment pay for those?
We did, and I don't we did, back a long time ago, we bought some, and then what we did was we transferred, I remember we transferred, put the new ones in, and then used the old ones to go kind of in other places. I remember us doing something like that. That's why I was like, do we have any extras? And we probably don't have any extras.
So, I would recommend getting some pricing.
Absolutely.
And
And,
when you purchase them, can we do extras so we have them on hand rather than?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Probably
because they're gonna
should.
get hit.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we probably should, not too many.
Yeah.
We don't have storage.
absolutely. No, we don't want them here in City Hall. No.
Yeah, so before the next redevelopment commission meeting.
Yeah, that'd be fine with me. And then and also the point too about uniformity is very important. We don't want to keep 3 or 4 different styles.
Yeah.
Mr. Carter, we'll work with you to make sure we get the right handles on them and openings and things like that as well. So that's okay.
Perfect, thank you.
President York, would you assign this to someone in your office then to complete
Yes.
the task?
Yes, I will, and I'll also have them work with our city engineer to make sure that, and Sean too, to make sure they're installed correctly. We get the right handles and openings on them, and that they're not blocking any turning motions. I'll open it up for public comment on both of these.
Yeah,
items.
Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street, back to the railroad crossing. Has the United States Senate office been contacted about this with the Ohio Street and Tilden crossing when they were closing in disrepair? It was Councilman Don Prespolinski. He contacted the office of United States Senator Mike Braun. So apparently the United States Senate has all the power and the control and the authority over what the railroad's done. I said, Senator Braun, he sent one of his aides, and him and Mayor Perry looked at those two crossings, and it wasn't no more than about a week later. It only took them about 4 days to to fix the two crossings and get them back and open, usable again. So, you know, you need to contact the United States Senate, either Senator Braun or Senator Young. Thank you.
Any other comments? Mr. Carter?
Just back on the containers, was mentioned that you wanted somewhere to store them. But we do have a barn out at Hitchcock where we leave our toters at. So if somebody wants us to come out there and assess the area, that may be a possibility to have somewhere to store extra ones.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for letting us know that.
Hello, Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. I would
go ahead, Scott.
Okay. About the garbage cans, Councilman Prispolinski, in addition to requesting new locations, indicated that the can in front of the Barker Mansion was damaged and at approximately a 45-degree angle. Given that's a repair, I think we should have a priority to get that attended to, given the Barker Foundation's major investment to the city. We should try to pretty that one up. That's a lot easier than buying and installing something. Let's see if we can get that bent upright expeditiously. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. Sean, can we, I guess I know of one that I'm thinking in my head that's basically destroyed and not going to be able to be repaired, but maybe that one could be looked at, see if it can be straightened up. I think there's one on the corner of Franklin, somewhere around Ripley, that's pretty much destroyed. So, okay. I'll close public comment and we'll move on. Actually, our next order of business is I'll open it up for public comment just on anything right now.
Yeah, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. I know on April 10th at the Elston Stan Holdcraft Center, Mayor Angie's going to be giving her first inaugural State of the City address. It's actually one of her statutory duties to deliver a State of the City address every year. It's one everybody is really looking forward to hearing what she has to say, and you know, I think she's going to have some write the questions down, note cards. I might have to write down a couple for her. Thank you. And it's going to be at 10 a.m. on the 10th. Thank you.
Comments online?
Hi, Scott Mellon, Kenwood Place. I'd just like to thank all the department heads that have been there today, special events, Parks Department. It sounds like they put together some great programs. And I'd like to thank everybody for their hard work, including the board, the mayor's office, and everybody else. Sounds like everybody's working really hard to push the city forward. Thank you.
I don't think there was signage at Carroll and Greenwood. If you need to put signage there about Rough Railroad, you need to go back and get a motion for that. You may just want to make a motion to refer the garbage cans to planning to come back for formal quotes.
Before we close out the meeting, I'm going to go back to our request for submit work request. Can we, I'd like to entertain a motion for Sean to look at which ones did not have it. I'm so sorry.
So let me just go back here. So railroad crossing.
Yeah.
So based on the discussion I heard today, there was a discussion about the need for rough railroad sign crossage at Carroll and Greenwood, correct?
Yeah.
Those were the only ones that were missing. So if this board would want to entertain a motion, subject to Tim looking in, like I said, I agree with Tim. I highly doubt that they're going to assume something that's our responsibility, but we can make that to put those signs up. And then also as to the garbage containers, just refer it to planning to get quotes, and also to street department for the repair.
Yeah.
Those are the three through
No,
motion
no,
by the
thank you.
mayor.
I'm sorry, we didn't make those motions. So I'll entertain a motion let's take them two motions. Let's take the railroad crossing first. I'll entertain a motion to add those additional signage
At
Mo-
Carroll and Greenwood.
at Carroll and Greenwood.
Motion to add at those signages at Carroll and Greenwood.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next order of business is for the containers. I'll entertain a motion to refer these containers for quotes to the planning department. And then for Sean to take a look at, see if any of them can be repaired or that are bent.
Motion to refer the request to planning department. What was the second?
Street department for
The
repair.
street department
For repairs.
for repairs.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Motion approved. I'll entertain motion for adjournment.
I don't know if you had if everybody was done with public
Any other
comments.
public
And
comment?
then there's board comment.
Absolutely. Any other public comment? I'll close the public comment session and I'll open it up for board comments. No board comments?
Motion for adjournment.
Support.
Motion, I support it too, so.